All right, grade 3, this is coming at you last possible second. But you know what? Here it is, best I could do. So Smartboard file for the first 2 modules of Unit 6 are right here. They are redone. Let's see, I want to show you what's on there, and I probably don't have it up. So I'm gonna have to get it up right now. Right there. All right, so day 1, starting off every day with some warm-ups from Unit 5, so they just remember multiplication, division, and area and perimeter. And then the Unit 6 revamped test is right there. I'm advising only giving out pages 2 and 3 at first, and save the first page on area and perimeter for later on, so you end up not having to give that huge of a test. And then the reading of the greedy triangle, which they wouldn't have gotten to read in 2nd grade because they would have been gone by that point. So in the Smartboard file, looking like this, these are warm-ups I had made last year, and I thought they were still great. And then you have the greedy triangle that you can mute the video, read it yourself, or see if you like how they're reading it in there. To start off our polygon discussion, right? On polygons, on what are polygons, and that we're going to be talking about quadrilaterals. So go day 2, we have our regular warm-up, and then polygons and quadrilateral highlights and quadrilateral riddles. So if I look in the file, we have this page that each kid would have in like a transparency, and then we'd go through and say, okay, my quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel sides. So now we have to go through and say, okay, which ones can we eliminate based on this clue? So they're gonna have to go through and cross out some of them. So Bridges has them cutting these out, but I find that kids just end up losing them. They get everywhere, so I like to just keep it in a transparency. But up to you. So those riddles are all, that riddle sheet is right here for you to print out if you'd like to do that. Then we start again with that warm-up, and then now we go into some angle stuff. So they learn about looking inside the quadrilateral at angles. There's a number rock song that I have in the Smartboard file, and then we do some quadrilaterals on geoboards. And there is a practice sheet right here. It's called a quick check, but I would just use it as a practice sheet. So if I keep looking in the Smartboard file, so there's some riddles for you to pick from. New warm-up, angle song, and then geoboard quadrilaterals. So we'd go, all right, let's try and make some of these. Let's try and make a 3-sided polygon shape with at least 1 acute angle. So you're trying to go for a triangle that has at least 1 acute angle. Yep, and you just keep going through and drawing it together, okay? And then day 4 and 5, I'm suggesting 2 days on this one, making a set of tangrams and letting them like make their own set. I did this at Summer Experience, so it was awesome. This will send you to a link of a YouTube video. I did not put it on VRSpot yet, where you could follow along on how to make those tangrams. And then they're gonna label each one with what shape it actually is. Like if it's a triangle, what kind of triangle? Is it a quadrilateral? What kind of quadrilateral? And then set forth and try to solve some tangram puzzles. And those puzzles are on the Smartboard file. And it's just fun to be able to have 2 days to do that type of thing. So here are a full set of tangrams. And now here are the puzzles. Can you use your tangrams to make a square? Can you use all 7 to make a square? Can anyone do it? If you can, put your name and write 7. You used all 7. Or maybe you were able to make a square from 3 of them. So you'd write your name and write the number 3. So you could have a poster up in your room of this so kids could keep trying it out. Okay? All right, some fun with tangrams. Then spend a day on sorting quadrilaterals into parallelograms and not parallelograms. And then the next day you're going to sort trapezoids and not trapezoids. And then the next day you're going to sort rhombuses and not rhombus. And then the next day squares and not squares. So we're looking at all these special kinds of quadrilaterals and being able to sort them. And then either looking at some true-false statements or taking some time to write some similarities and differences between two polygons. So those are all found in the Smartboard file. And then we have some Khan Academy practice you could choose from, which you'll find in the Smartboard file. And then ending the quadrilateral stuff with some sort of quadrilateral art activity. I love this one, but maybe you find your own, because I know there's some robot ones they could make or castles you could make out of quadrilaterals. So you can take a look at that one if you're interested. And then we end the unit with, well, not necessarily end, but you get to that last main concept is area and perimeter, which you've already done a lot of. So it's just, again, practicing. And this time, when you start this, I would give the second part of that pretest if you're going to give one. And then there's a new Smartboard file for area and perimeter. So you'll first do area perimeter of these paper quadrilaterals. Now I have this printout for you, but you might want to find it in your actual Bridges files in your notebooks, because sometimes the measurements can be off if it's just from my printed version. So I like these because you were just working on quadrilaterals. So now why don't we talk about what each of these are? Like that's the parallelogram. And now I want you to find the perimeter of the what? The trapezoid. And then I want you to find, so we're able to talk about quadrilaterals and perimeter at the same time. And then once we've done paper quadrilaterals, then the next day, let's do some perimeter again, but this time working with rectangles. All these are quadrilaterals, but all the quadrilaterals are the same. They're all rectangles. And now we're gonna measure and find the perimeter again. And then go into area and perimeter with a notice wonder. This is when the perimeter or the area, one of those ends up staying the same, and what happens. So something's going to happen on here and you're hoping someone notices, and having a discussion about that. And then there's a practice page to try out. That's a home connection sheet for Jacob and his dad. That's the same type of thing. And then finishing with composite shapes. So what if it's not like a perfect rectangle? What do you do to find that perimeter or area? There is a note card activity that I introduced last year or the year before. So if you're interested in trying that out, read through that, see what I have in the file. And then the post-test, you just give all of it. And then the final day is doing some more GeoBoard stuff. I'm working on halves and fourths using your GeoBoard. So we're bringing the idea of fractions up in a shape. So this is a PDF for kids to fill in as you're doing this activity, and you'll find it on the Smartboard file. Okay? All right, so that is, I think, it. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. Okay, I have not finished a math room yet. I will hope to get that to you soon. All right, bye.